Welcome back to the channel Hex Tribe. In this video, it's going to be a short one, but it's going to be very, very important, so pay attention closely because by the end of the video, you're going to learn some common misconceptions and some things about cryptocurrency and investing in general. And this video might change the way you look at crypto investing altogether. And if nothing else, I hope it stops you from falling into the same old pitfalls of losing money in all those various ways. You know, shiny object syndrome, chasing the pumps, day trading, and all the other trendy stuff that people think is going to get them a lot of money, but really just ends up losing people money and getting them wrecked in the long term. So I'm going to boil things down in the most basic sense possible in terms of when we talk about dollar cost averaging, what does that mean? And how would dollar cost averaging have actually made you way more money than trying to time the market, game the system, or just think you're smarter than everybody else? Because really that stuff doesn't work. So stick around till the end because I'm going to show you what's really, really simple, but what you probably don't want to hear. See, a lot of people don't want to hear the simple yet boring solution that dollar cost averaging, long-term holding, and really investing over a trading mindset is what actually wins in crypto. And those are the people that have made all the money today. And everybody else that's tried to be a day trader, that tried to be cool, that just got done watching The Wolf of Wall Street and they think they're going to be the next hotshot trader, those guys are actually losers. And they're not going to talk about it because nobody brags about their losses. You know, you'll notice people are very, very vocal when they make one winning trade, but they're never going to tell you about the hundreds of losing trades that they have and how the real reason a lot of these people make money is from, you know, paid groups or trading courses, which is almost laughable because, you know, a lot of these people aren't even profitable traders. So let's go back to the basics. When it comes to actually making money in cryptocurrency, I'm going to prove to you how easy it is, but also how boring it is. Look, you could be a total robot in cryptocurrency and you could just put in $100 a week in the most automated, boring, dollar cost average strategy of all time. You know, that's what dollar cost averaging means. It means putting in a little bit of money on a time schedule every certain time interval over a span of, you know, X number of months or years. And you can customize the schedule and do it a different way. But even if you did the most boring and basic strategy of $100 a week, not even looking at the markets, not even looking at the prices, just putting a blindfold on and chucking in $100 a week into, let's say, Hex, for example, over the course of 1, 2, or even 3 years, let's go ahead and see how much money you would have had versus, you know, how much money that you ended up with trying to, you know, chase poop coin of the day or shiny object over here, and then spreading your money over a ton of different assets and ending with, you know, a lot of times a net loss, right? And being very unhappy in the end when you could have just simplified everything and been in profit by now, okay? So what I'm about to show you is a very simple example, taking every single price of every single day in Hex's history and assuming that you were just the most boring automated robot, zero emotions, zero looking at the charts, zero scrolling through Twitter, and no listening to random YouTubers telling you what's the shiny object of the week, right? If you just did this basic strategy, here's how much money you would have made versus how much money you would have put in. And we're just going to use Hex as the asset because I was able to pull all the data from hexdailystats.com. Shout out hexdailystats.com. Link in description below. But I pulled the data, put it into Excel, and you could do the same thing. It's really not that hard. If you go to that website, you could pull the same data and modify what I'm about to show you to fit maybe your unique strategy and probably do even better, right? Because when it comes to dollar cost averaging, yeah, you can just put in $100 a week every week for X number of months. That's fine. But you could also say, you know, as the prices are going lower, I'm going to double down. Maybe now that the price is down 50%, I'm going to put in $200 this week. Or now that the price is down 80%, I'm going to put in $500 this week. And maybe when the prices are up higher, maybe you're not even buying at all. Maybe that's the time where you're just going to sit that out because you realize the markets are frothy. And yeah, that's easier said than done because emotions are involved. But what I'm trying to tell you is the more detached and less emotional of an investor you are, the better you will actually do. In fact, I would venture to guess that a lot of you would probably be better off having just deleted the Twitter app altogether during this past bull and bear cycle because emotions are high and they make people do silly things. You know, in a bear market, you fudge yourself out. You don't go scale in harder like the dollar cost average strategy would want you to do because you say, oh, well, what if it goes lower? What if it goes lower? Or, oh, I'm scared. And it shakes your faith and belief in the crypto system as a whole. Whereas when prices are higher, that's when everybody's getting in. Everybody's asking you how to get in. The euphoria is at an all-time high and it makes it seem easy to throw in, you know, thousands of dollars buying the top. So what I'm trying to say is abstract yourself away, distance yourself from the charts and the emotions. And again, if you had an automated robot putting in $100 a week for you, you'd be up on your money at this point in time on the asset called HEX, no matter when you started, okay? Here's a guy, let's say you started on 4/20/2021, arbitrary date, LOL. Let's just say you started about 2 years ago on April 20th, 2021. Today's April 3rd, that's about 2 years ago. You were just chucking in $100 a week. Well, at today's point in time, you would have thrown in $15,400 for a total of 1,287,390 total HEX. That's how much HEX you would have had. I know, it's awesome, right? A lot of you guys would probably love to have 1,000,000 HEX, but if you started, 2 years ago and just DCA'd $100, you would. You literally would. Instead of doing God knows what else you're doing, chasing these random airdrops or pumps or things that really just don't matter or end up with a net negative, all right? What's the USD value of that today? So HEX isn't even near the all-time highs today, but it is about a 3 to 4x above its all-time lows of 2 cents, right? So let's just use the estimation price of 8.4 cents. Let's say HEX is around 8.4 cents. I don't know what it's going to be tomorrow or yesterday. 8.4 cents is just the last price target that I happen to look at, and I'm using it for this example because, it can go from 7 to 9 to 8, whatever. But at 8.4 cents, for chucking in $15,400 and buying 1.2 million HEX over the past 2 years, your automated, boring robot strategy of do nothing, get paid, you'd end up with $108,000 worth of HEX today, right? You can check this, okay? You can go up and say, this is the amount of HEX you would have bought on every day. These are real numbers and real data. And you might not have even picked the best days. This $100 spans the whole run up and the whole run down, which means you probably would have put in $100 at the very top using this boring robot automated strategy. But if you still keep dollar cost averaging, if you just don't even look at it, chuck in $100 a week, no matter what, at the highs or the lows or the middle, well, congratulations. If you did that, you would have made $100K out of your $15,000 investment today. Where else are you going to get, over a 6x return? You're not going to get that in the stock market. And a lot of crypto coins, you're really not going to get that either, okay? Unless you buy the absolute bottom and sell the absolute top, which everybody thinks they can do. But everybody's a genius until the bear market comes and wrecks them, right? So I'm trying to stress the importance of this really, really simple dollar cost average strategy. And this is even just a kind of a crappy version of dollar cost averaging because, again, when prices are lower, you could just choose to say, okay, I'm going to put in $400 this week. And when prices are really high, you could say, well, maybe I'm going to skip a week or two, right? You can put your own little spin on things. But, let's just say we waited a little bit when we didn't even start investing until June 9th, 2021. All right, well, similar scenario here. You would have put in a total of $9,500 and you would have had currently 153,000 HEX. Now, that's less HEX because you had started your investing term, your investing journey, closer to the peak of HEX. But guess what? It doesn't matter. At 8 cents, you're still left with $12,886, okay? So you're still up, about 50% versus your initial investment. And, if you're staking HEX, that's even more, guys. If you're staking, you can add a couple 10, 20% APY returns on top of that, right? Name me any asset in the traditional financial system that gets you this much returns in the matter of only 2 years, okay? And this is during a brutal bear market, and this accounts for you buying all the way up and, again, all the way down. So even if you're buying at the very peak and buying all the way down, at today's prices, you're technically still in profit. Let me prove that to you right now. From the peak of HEX, okay, the peak of HEX happened on September 19th, 2021. This right here would be the peak. Let's say you started your investing journey putting in $100 a week at the very top of HEX. Just the absolute worst move you could possibly make, but you stayed consistent. You were just a robot, and the robot didn't care. The robot put in $100 a week no matter what. Well, that robot automated strategy would have put in $8,000, would have ended up with 141,000 HEX today, and at 8.4 cents, that's almost $12,000. So you're still up almost 50% on your money, even buying the absolute top and just buying a little bit on the whole way down, because there was that whole 9-month span, guys, of under 3 pennies that you were also chucking in $100 at. And that's the power of dollar cost averaging, guys. Those $100 buys that you continue to collect at the sub 3 penny range makes up for all those $100 buys that you bought hypothetically on the way from the top at 50 cents all the way down to 3 cents. And again, guys, it's like If you just, went on a vacation or played video games the entire bear market and let a robot do this for you, I'd venture to guess that the robot did better, a lot better than a lot of these wannabe day traders out there, or these, poop coin chasers, or, these people that just need the dopamine hit of the next shiny object, right? All these people trying to follow the latest YouTubers, seeing what's the new narrative I can get into. Oh, it's gaming this week. Oh, it's AI that week, right? If you just cancel all the noise and only focus on the signal here, dollar cost averaging wins, even from the most dumbest robotic $100 a week strategy, getting involved at the absolute top. You're still in profit, right? And you can do dollar cost averaging a lot smarter than I'm displaying here. I'm just saying, a robot could probably beat any trader just with this very simple strategy. Now, let's say exactly 1 year ago. Let's say you got into Hex exactly 1 year ago. All right. It's not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. Well, this $100 strategy a week would have put in a total of $5,200. You would have ended up with 127,000 Hex. And at 8.4 cents, that's $10,600. You doubled your money, plus a little bit more. Guys, are you starting to see the trend here? It's not what people want to hear. It's not what people want to hear, but taking your emotions out of it and automating your buy-ins in a routine way. Like, let's say every paycheck you get, you just put $100 towards crypto, and you have a blindfold on. You're not even looking. You're not even caring about the charts. You deleted Twitter. You deleted Telegram. You doubled your money, okay? If this doesn't prove to you the power of dollar cost averaging over trading, investing in a long-term mindset over a short-term mindset, I don't know how else to prove it to you. This is really game-changing stuff when you start to realize it. And this is in my opinion, this is a bad dollar cost average strategy. Again, you wouldn't just want to put $100 a week in when prices are at all-time highs. When prices are down 60, 70, 80%, you also might want to say, okay, well, maybe I'll put in $200, $300 this time. Or maybe, $500 because the price of Hex has been 3 cents for 9 months. Maybe somewhere along that 3-cent span, that 9 months that we had at 3 cents, maybe you would decide to go in a little bit harder, But again, easier said than done because emotions are high. Everyone's making fun of crypto as an asset. Everybody's scared. Everybody's fudding themselves out. But again, if you were just robotic about your strategy of dollar cost averaging, if you were robotic about, okay, we're down 90%, I'm going to put in even more at the dips. And if you would just had some faith in crypto, some conviction, right? And it's easy to have conviction now that Hex is back at 9 cents or 8 cents or whatever. It's easy to have conviction and say, oh, okay, well, maybe it's not going anywhere. It's a lot harder to have that conviction at the lows, okay? So again, taking the emotions out of it, scaling in harder at the lows, you would have ended up with way more than double your money if you started putting in, 200, 300, 400 bucks at the all-time lows. And guys, here's what's really crazy, right? Let's just say a total robot, automated $100 a week strategy from the very beginning of Hex's existence, and you put that into place, that would have put in a total of 17,000 Hex and returned you, at this point in time, 11,500,000 Hex. What's 11 million Hex worth today, or at 8.4 cents? Almost $1 million, $971,000. So for initial investment of $17,000, dollar cost averaging 100 bucks a week over the entire span of Hex's existence, you would have had $1 million. So guys, now that we're back at these local lows, now that we're back at these relatively, whether it's 3 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents, guys, the all-time high was 50 cents, and a lot of coins, when they breach their all-time high again in the next bull market, they make blow-off tops. So I think Hex could go to $1 easily, maybe even $2 to $5. So imagine that you start this dollar cost average strategy now, and whether or not, Hex goes all the way back down to 3 cents again, and all the way back up to 5, because it's very volatile, right? But you're not paying attention with this kind of a DCA strategy. If you start your automated, boring-ass robot strategy today, and again, you could be a little smarter with it, right? You could tweak it a little bit. But what's the probability that you'd be set up for success when the next bull market does come around? And then when Hex does break its all-time high, whether that's a year from now or a year and a half from now, maybe at that point in time, you could say, all right, I'm going to hold back. Now that Hex has blown past its all-time high, this is where maybe I stop dollar cost averaging. Maybe this is where I start taking some profit because, it's past all-time highs now. All the euphoric, plebs are coming in from every angle thinking they're going to get rich overnight. Maybe that's when you start to take profit because you've already packed your bags in this 1 to 2 to 2.5 years of opportunity. You've literally had almost a year of opportunity to accumulate. You might have another 6 months to another year even to accumulate using this DCA method. And again, you could do it however you want to. You could just put in $1,000 a week even. You know, whatever works out with your paychecks, your work schedule, however you get paid. And of course, it should go without saying that if you can't afford to put food on the table and shelter over your head, you're not ready to invest in the first place. But a lot of you guys are ready, and a lot of you guys are simply doing it wrong by chasing these little dopamine hits that aren't going to really pay off in the long run. All right, so keep your eyes on the prize, stay focused on the mission, stay focused on a couple of assets. It doesn't have to be only Hex, but don't spread yourself out too thin between 100 different coins and go researching every white paper. Guys, at the end of the day, everything pumps in a bull market. It's about picking what's going to pump the hardest, what you have the most conviction in personally. Obviously, you guys know where my bets are placed. Just look at my shirt here. But I think we're all going to be poised for success if we can just take a step back, take some emotions out of our strategy. And a lot of us, myself included, would probably even just be better off not paying attention to things like Twitter at all, or all the FUD, all the news, because think about how scared you were just 3 months ago, you know, with the SEC and all this FUD coming out, and Hex was 1.7 cents. Some people were saying, oh, I'm going to wait till it hits 1 penny, and then boom, now we went back to 9 cents. How's everybody feeling now, guys? A little bit reinvigorated, a little more hopeful. People are starting to understand, okay, I understand now that this is the most volatile asset class in the world, and these are the emotions that you're going to be feeling. But the more stock you put into the day-to-day noise, the more you're distancing yourself from the signal, and the more you're going to just lose. And I don't want people to lose. So this is just a way to try to articulate how dollar cost averaging works and how even a robot could probably beat a day trader by just putting in $100 a week over pretty much any time frame in Hex's history. And look, I'm not targeting you in particular, but if you're watching this video and this basic, boring strategy would have beat you by now, if you're watching this video and you've lost money by doing silly things like trading, chasing the stupid coin of the day, if you're looking at this like, damn, I'm down 90%, I would have been up 50% by being a robot, you need to take this to heart, okay? You need to reconsider your whole entire crypto investing journey. This video is honestly geared towards people like that. So think about your life. Think about your investing journey. Think about however long ago it was you got in, 6 months ago, 1 year ago. Look at all the decisions you made. I bet you regret a couple of them, don't you? A couple of them probably seem pretty dumb at this point. And even though this might not be what you want to hear, taking a simplified strategy like this might have actually saved you from a world of pain that you may or may not be in right now. Be honest with yourself, guys. Did you buy high and did you sell low? Or did you have conviction and did you actually dollar cost average in at the dips? What did you do? Did you go chasing the coin of the week? Did you go chasing what some random influencer told you to buy and then changed his mind next month and now he's shilling something else? We can all learn. We can all get better. When I started off in crypto, I made these kinds of mistakes for probably 5 years before I really learned what works and what doesn't work. And this is what works. And if you're ready for it, great. We can all win together. If you're not ready for it, well, maybe sometimes you have to experience some heavy losses, some heavy pain in order to really get it. Again, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. So I hope you learned something, guys. Like and subscribe to this video. If you want to collaborate with me or ask me questions, join my Patreon. Link in the description below. And if you're brand new to crypto, I do have a course for total newbies. It's very catered towards you. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay chill, and I will see you on the next one.